Where's chat?
Oh yeah, I don't have chat
There's
either. Hold
chat.
on. Let's do that.
Hey,
I'm
Forest
not
Mommy.
exactly
Hey,
ready.
sibling.
Good
Darth.
morning, y'all.
The whole crew's in here today.
Let me find you. I can't see chat yet. Oh,
Forest
thanks for
Mommy, that's
showing up
new.
early.
Is that the one running for Congress or something? Or Senate?
She was running for like something.
Town council?
She's here. Ask her. I don't remember. Yeah, sub
Yeah,
council
what were
somewhere.
you running for there, Forest Mommy?
I
I
just told
sent
people to vote for her. I didn't really look into it.
yeah, we retweeted you and told people to vote for you because sibling
Yeah,
rivalry recommended you. So we're just trusting them. Don't make us look bad.
it's. I mean, we do that on our own.
City council, there we go.
Okay.
People don't realize it's the small offices that actually have crazy
Make a
power.
difference.
So like your
Yeah.
little town council, if you live in a small town, there's only like 6 counselors on your council. If you and a few buddies go in there and win it, it's crazy the power you can control your whole town, what happens, where the money goes, and people don't realize it's really easy because small towns get tiny amounts of people actually voting for your own local town council. Like the mayor of my former town where I lived won because no one else ran. It didn't even have an election. She just was the only one that wanted the job. She was the mayor of the whole town.
Do they still count the votes? Do you know how many votes she got?
No, because there was no contest because
They
no
don't.
one else
They don't
ran.
even do it.
No, there's no one to vote for or
Damn.
against. Oh, you're the only person? Then you get the job.
Go be the mayor. Why don't you go be the mayor?
Well, I don't live there anymore.
Oh, okay.
I would.
Well, could you be your current mayor of your current town? I think I want to be my mayor.
I am the mayor of the woods. I have the
Okay.
say.
Change your headline. Let's change our headlines. Well, mine's decaf, so that's true.
I can change it.
Let's.
Or can you change it?
I'm gonna change yours to say mayor of the woods. Oh, my caps lock's on. That's
Mayor,
gonna have to stay like
sheriff,
that.
warden.
You're mayor of the woods, but you're retarded. You can't even get your caps lock off. Okay. So
Now I can
I'm
go
a little
collect
bit
taxes.
behind. A couple things I need to say before we start. I should have said this yesterday when we started the show. My son is still not feeling well. So if I do have to run off, that's what's happening, and I'm sorry.
We'll handle it.
As soon as I left yesterday, he was fine for the whole day. And then at 3 o'clock this morning, he woke up. And I was like, something's up. Why would he be in the bathroom? And then the light comes on and he's doing all this shit. And I'm like, I should help him. So I get up and I open the door. I'm like, what's up, buddy? He goes, I pooped on myself. I'm like, oh, goddamn, this is not how I want to start my day.
Not throw up on his
So
butt. That was my
he
favorite
didn't throw
yesterday.
up out of his butt. Yeah, that was, isn't
That
that
cracked me up.
the best way to throw up though? I'm like, oh, phew, I was feeling bad for you. So that said, if I have to like pop up and
We'll
leave, that's
handle
what's
it. Yeah.
happening. Also, we're an hour earlier than usual, meaning my dogs are probably gonna also interrupt. I had them on a 9 a.m. schedule. Today they're looking at me like, why? Why do we have to go outside right now? We're not even hungry for 35 minutes. So
Exactly.
that's happening. But other
Yeah,
than
if you
that, I
have
think
dogs,
we're
you
good
don't
to
need
go.
an alarm clock for sure.
No, we have a lot of people in chat this morning. I don't think I'm gonna be able to catch up, but it's good to see you all. Good morning, Squabble.
Good morning,
Sib, Force Mommy. I
everyone.
don't think she's caught one of our shows yet.
No?
I don't think so. I think I've seen her in a Cool Frog show.
Oh, I guess she's
Maybe I
about
could be
ready
wrong.
then.
Okay, let's share the book. We are on chapter 2 in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Oh, this is kind of big. Can you see this? You can't.
Not yet. Boom, got it.
This is Mark Manson's book. Last week was chapter 1, where we learned to not try.
Right.
We actually learned. What did you learn from this?
What are the clip notes? Give me a like quick brush over.
He didn't learn anything, y'all.
I learned. I'm just dumb.
Just try to remember what. Okay, if you have it in your brain somewhere. So
It's in
when
there.
you
Yeah.
see the don't try and you try to, like, I'm a stranger and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, don't give any fucks, don't try. Basically it means, I would say it means figure out your lane and don't try to be someone else. You can do you perfectly.
Yes.
You can't fucking do anything else right. You're going to be giving fucks. Make sure you aim your fuck gun at the right fucks, because it will be easier, because you won't have to try very hard to be yourself.
Right. It's 3 times more work to try to be someone else than it is to be you. Because you got
Mm-hmm.
to be you and then mask you and then be another person. So
Yeah.
don't be
It,
another person.
yeah, don't do that. All right, so then today is chapter 2, Happiness is a Problem. I didn't pre-read this, so I don't know what's going to happen. Um, good old half the headline Nova. He's all, don't try. What I get out of that is don't.
Just don't.
Okay. Happiness is a problem. Is there anything you wanted to say today? Should I play something to get the audience happy? Let's play this Twitter thing really quick. I sorry to interrupt you guys, but
Yeah,
I
we'll
want
warm
to jump
everybody up.
straight into this book. Everybody stretch, get your coffee.
Get those brain things moving.
Can you see
I love
this?
this one. Oh Jesus! Who is that ugly motherfucker?
It's a bear.
There.
Oh my god, I love this.
It was so hilarious. Like, what do you think the bear's thinking?
I don't know what the bear is thinking. You should fuck up that strong.
There, look, it's like he put it face down on it. Like, I'm gonna trap this demon in the ground.
Why do these trees have phones on them?
Those are cameras,
Oh,
trail cams.
that's interesting.
So it only reacts to motion. And the good ones, the new ones now, the trail cams only react to motion with body heat. So a branch won't set the camera off, but a
Oh
warm
my
body
God.
going by will.
I kind of hate that.
It's good if you're a hunter.
Okay.
Or you set it up to take these kind of videos.
Mm-hmm. I don't hate it for what it's going to capture or what its use is. I hate that there's like something out there that's testing to see if I'm
The
hot
technology.
or not.
If you
Yeah,
want to
and it's
beat a thermal camera, get those little Mylar space blankets.
Mhm.
You know, the ones that fold up in like
Mhm.
a little package. They block heat radiation. So when a helicopter is chasing you through the woods with a thermal
Shut the
camera,
fuck
if you
up.
whip
Is
one
that
of those
real?
out, you disappear.
Oh, no way. For real?
Yeah, seriously.
Will, we
Military
just
jackets,
helped
they
the
sew them right in the
cultured
lining of
community.
military jackets underneath. So it's already built in.
Man, I was like, damn, the fucking helicopters are homie, you're fucked.
Yeah, there's all kinds of
Didn't
videos
know.
on YouTube of people showing how you do it.
Dude, there's some, I got stuck in a YouTube rabbit hole yesterday. Actually, I'm not going to tell you guys. Tune in on Monday and I'll tell you. It's a long way away, huh?
Ooh,
6 more days and
I
I'll tell
love
you what
rabbit
happened on
holes.
YouTube yesterday.
They're
It sounds like
addictive.
it's worth it. Well, there's this,
They're
I
like
was
junk
trying to
food.
get things done and my child was watching something and I kept going, what did he say? Is that real? And I would watch. I'm like, damn. And so later in the day, I was like, we should watch that video together. I'm pimping him for his ideas. What else you got in your algorithm?
Right? Sometimes the algorithm's great. Other times, like sometimes it feeds me shit. I'm like, I don't like golf. I don't like sailing. I don't like fishing. Like, why are you giving me this shit?
um, Good morning, first one shot. He said, Merry Christmas, Divinity, I guess. Well, you don't have to celebrate, but
We're getting
Merry
there.
Christmas is absolutely where we're at here, buddy.
Are we gonna get like another update of the Christmas wall?
You mean you want
Like
me to
every 2 weeks?
you want me to add to it?
No, I'm just curious
Last
if
year,
you're
I
gonna.
filled it up with presents as I wrapped presents. I put them in here so that no one would
Yes.
actually,
Yeah.
so the dogs wouldn't piss on them. Really, I'm like they're gonna want all of these. So
It's a
as it went
live
on, it got
action
more.
background.
I don't see that happening, but you never know. It is dynamic. It will change if it needs to, based on IRL.
So tune in to catch the update.
Yeah, that part. I mean, truthfully, I didn't do much with my hair today, so I'm like, I'm gonna put my hat on, and I decided this yesterday. So today I was like, but still, yeah. So that's what's happening here. Wow.
This is just my everyday hat.
Oh my gosh, what if I Squabble said Divinity's Elf on the Shelf. What if I hit a little Elf on the Shelf here and you guys had to try to find it? It seems
We
like
used
that
to
would be
play
really
that
easy.
game. So I used to work in this old paper factory, and it was just mind-numbingly boring. 12-hour back shift. So when management was gone at night, we were bored, so we'd play these games, and someone brought this little elf in, so Elf on the Shelf, but we'd hide it all over the paper plant. So one person would hide it at the beginning of the shift, and then we had to take the whole shift and try to find this thing. So we'd be like forgetting to do our jobs because we were so fucking focused on finding this stupid
I
elf.
love that. That's awesome.
Grown men just being fucking retards.
It isn't even Thanksgiving yet. It's not? Oh my god, I
We
ate
had our
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving already.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving in Canada. Anyways, I don't give a fuck if it's Thanksgiving, and I didn't care that it was 4th of July. Didn't care. I'm not gonna care when it's any of the rest of the year. Basically, like Christmas.
What about
Anyways,
Easter?
Easter, yeah, I'm a big fan of Easter. Yeah, big fan.
Okay, here's a question. How did bunnies pooping chocolate come to Easter? How did that
I mean,
all
that's a
about
whole
me?
different episode, but it has something to do with I have no idea.
Or was it just a commercial manufactured holiday like Halloween?
I think they originally pooped jelly beans. So this is an evolution question I'm not sure about. I'm not a doctor.
Okay. That's going on the to-do list.
Yeah, that's like a we'll do that show in March
Ah, there you go.
when it matters.
Remember it, chat. You guys have to remember to remind us now. It's all on you.
Write it in your book. Okay. That's actually true, Sib. You didn't know this. He said she's countering the bad energy from people who get mad at people who celebrate on the week of Christmas, so she celebrates it all year in protest. Actually, I decided, like, I listen to Christmas music all year long, and I'll watch Christmas movies if I can. But it's true. When December happens, people are gonna bitch about it anyways. They hate fucking Christmas. So I'm like,
Right.
you know what? If you're gonna hate it when it's cold outside and it should be Christmas, then fucking hate it
I don't
in
think people
May.
hate Christmas. I think they hate having to spend money that they don't have and being obligated to things they don't want to be obligated to.
Yeah, I get it. There's probably tons of reasons to, but who fucking like? Oh, great. This has nothing to do with you. This is my, I like Christmas.
I hate Christmas music except for Christmas Day and Christmas Eve.
If you went to the store and they were playing Christmas music, how does that make you feel? Like in December.
I don't go to the store.
Pretend you had a life.
No, I do. I'm deaf in one ear, so I just don't listen to it.
You can turn off the other ear. Oh, I was listening to this neurosurgeon. She's not surgeon. She's a brain doctor.
Yes.
She's a neuroscientist probably, and she was talking about how our brains work and how when mothers have babies, how they connect with them when they look at them.
Yeah.
And she was saying when you're talking to a person, you can use your right eye to look into their left eye because when you
Oh,
are nursing a baby, that's generally what you're doing. You're connecting to a person using that. So they're familiar with that if they got any nurture.
yeah.
And
Bonding. Yeah.
right. And so when I was listening to her, I'm like, what? I can't look at shit with my right or my left eye. And as I'm thinking that, she tells the guy, you don't feel like you can do it, but with practice you can. So I started looking at stuff. Holy shit, just pick something in your room right now. You can look at it with one eye or the other. And I never knew that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's what.
Big time. A trick for teaching someone to shoot a gun
Uh-huh.
to find out which eye is dominant or not. You hold a little triangle out in front of you, and then put the center of the triangle on something, and then just close one eye and wink back and forth, and one of them will stay still, and the other one will move way over to a side.
So wait, what's it mean?
The
How do
one
I
that
know which
stays
one's
still
moving?
is your dominant one, but the one that moves is your non-dominant.
Well, this is a trick. Okay, let's get into the book because it's moving every time.
But they say that too with your puppy. Like when you get a puppy at home, you're supposed to like look into his eyes for a long time, and it builds a bonding relationship between you and your puppy. So it should work with people too.
It does? I didn't know that. They
Yeah,
should
well,
have.
it's
They should.
like a dog. You probably shouldn't stare into his eyes unless you're familiar with them, because then it's an intimidation thing. But if it's a puppy and you're bonding, then yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I'm gonna go stare at my dog. She thinks I'm weird enough, but it's what it is. I don't nurse babies as often as you think. No, but most humans were nursed by the mom, so they have even girl or boy, they'll have the instinct when someone is looking at you with their right eye in your left eye, it will create this bond that you don't know is
Yeah,
happening,
it's
which is like
evolutionary.
guard your eyes, y'all. Don't let people stare too long into your eye. They
Yeah,
could be trying to
we don't
bond
like
with
we
you.
do it and we don't even know we do it. It's like breathing.
Yeah.
You don't tell yourself
But
that
you
like
could
breathe
exploit
in,
that
breathe
if you
out.
know it's happening, right?
Right.
I read in like a Cosmopolitan when I was in high school that in order to bond with your boyfriend, you could like match their breathing. You know how many times I've done that? How fucking weird. That is just weird that somebody next to you is like, I'm going to trick us right now. And it's like putting a spell on someone.
Yeah, women are manipulative.
Div's puppy has extra soft problems. Yeah, my puppy is the softest thing ever. I just love her. I can't remember my other dogs ever being this soft.
They need if they're gonna genetically make all these critters, they should make like a genetic puppy and a genetic kitten, so they stay like
Yes.
kitten soft and puppy soft.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. Here, here. They should put one in that CRISPR machine. You know, the guy who mixed his dog with a chem stick so it would glow.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
He could
That
do
was
it.
crazy.
Mm-hmm. Are there
Isn't
any
Walt
stories
Disney's head frozen somewhere?
I don't know. Let's look it up.
I think there's a whole company that was freezing bodies.
Gross.
Like they cryogenically freeze you in the hopes that 200 years from now they can just be brought back to life for like $50.
Walt Disney's frozen body will not be thought. What? It really is?
So why freeze them and not
Wait.
embalm them? Like I think it's Lenin from Russia, you know, that evil psycho guy. His body's preserved and embalmed, and you can go and look at his body in a glass case
Preserved
today.
and embalmed? That feels like two different things.
No, preserved with embalming, like via embalming.
Everyone's embalmed.
No, not if you
Well,
don't
they're
want it.
cremated. What
Cremate it,
else is
out.
there?
If I die, I don't want embalming fluid. I just want to be thrown in a pine box that costs like $100. None of these $5,000
That's fine.
caskets.
That's good. But still, I mean, you have to tell them beforehand or you get embalmed, I think. Might
Oh
want
yeah,
to
I
write
have a
letter
do
and like
not
keep it
take
in your
my
pocket.
organs, no donating my organs or anything. None of that's happening.
Okay, that's weird. You want to find out if happiness really is a problem?
Yeah, let's do that. I think it's too much happiness to meet your problem. I think.
Too much happiness is what you're going to think? I think it's what people believe happiness is. I don't think people think happiness is like the highs. I think we talked about this before.
Oh yeah. They're riding, and yeah, they think they should be super
You think
happy.
the highs
Christmas
are
Day,
happiness,
as a
right?
child, Christmas Day when you're opening your presents, happy 24/7 is what I think people think, but it's not viable.
Okay. I don't know what's happening in here. I see Darth 80s. It's scrolling past my screen, so I can't really see it anymore. But it said something about don't tell her something. People is the Grinch, and they hate happiness. The Grinch is
Like
okay.
there's this what was on it? One of those strange medical shows, and it was people who have, I can't remember what the name of the disorder was, but it was they would just have orgasms randomly all day, all
Damn,
the
that
time.
sucks.
People are like, why would that be bad? And these people like, it's horrible. It's the worst thing ever. Like,
do they feel it coming on, or what's happening?
yeah.
How does it work? I mean, if you could feel it happening, I mean that.
Well, like the one guy, I think he was talking about his father died, and he was at his father's funeral, like leaning over the casket, and he was orgasming and couldn't control it.
Shut the fuck up.
He's like, I just wanted to shoot myself in the face because everyone's there watching, and he has no idea, right? Like, it's crazy.
Do they wear
to watch.
diapers or something?
Well, yeah, but he's not worried about making a mess. He's worried about like having a positive, good feeling while you're mourning your dead father, and people are seeing you like doing your little orgasm twitches and your cum face, and
Well, you
like it happens to girls too.
Suck. That would suck. That's
I think they did a guy and a girl for the show.
Yeah, I would like to watch that. That sucks. How often did it happen to him in one day?
Like dozens to hundreds of times a day. Just would depend on the day. Like they try to give him medication to stop him from orgasming and stuff, but
oh man,
yeah, it sounds great until you have it.
Yeah, no. That was weird. I feel like this page just scrolled without me doing it. Is that Jesus saying get on with it?
Yeah, it's time for me to stop talking about orgasm disorders and talk about happiness problems.
Okay, let's go. About 2,500 years ago, in the Himalayan foothills of present-day Nepal, there lived in a great palace a king who was going to have a son. For this son, the king had a particularly grand idea. He would make the child's life perfect. The child would never know a moment of suffering. Every need, every desire would be accounted for at all times. The king built high walls around the palace that prevented the prince from knowing the outside world. He spoiled the child, lavishing him with food and gifts, surrounding him with servants who catered to his every whim. And just as planned, the child grew up ignorant of the routine cruelties of human existence. All of the prince's childhood went on like this, but despite the endless luxury of opulence, the prince became kind of a pissed-off young man. Soon, every experience felt empty and valueless. The problem was that no matter what his father gave him, it never seemed enough, never meant anything. So, late one night, the prince snuck out of the palace to see what was beyond its walls. He had a servant drive him through the local village, and what he saw horrified him. For the first time in his life, the prince saw human suffering. He saw sick people, old people, homeless people, people in pain, and even people dying. The prince returned to the palace and found himself in a sort of existential crisis. Not knowing how to process what he'd seen, he got all emo about everything and complained a lot. I forgot this was how funny this writer was.
Yeah, Mark.
This seemed serious for a second. And as is so typical of young men, the prince ended up blaming his father for everything his father had tried to do for him. For the very things his father had tried to do for him. Sorry. It was the riches, the prince thought, that had made him so miserable, that had made his life seem so meaningless. He decided to run away. This is weird. You think he would... How does that happen?
I think he's almost like telling us the old age story of the prince or princess.
Aladdin.
But it's like the helicopter parent, right? You're doing too much and you're fucking your kid up by doing too much for your kid.
Yeah. But the prince was more like his father than he knew. He had grand ideas too. He wouldn't just run away. He would give up his royalty, his family, and all his possessions and live in the streets, sleeping in dirt like an animal. There he would starve himself, torture himself, and beg for scraps of food from strangers for the rest of his life. Wait, what? He thinks
There's
that
a
the
movie
palace
about
life
this.
sucks and the other life is the good. He sees that as, he doesn't see that as bad? I'm
I
kind of
think he was
confused.
so upset by his privilege that he did a complete 180 and went to as far away from privilege as he could get.
Do you think he just wanted to feel anything? And he's like, man, I've been robbed of feeling, so I want to, like, it's like cutting.
Possibly.
This is
That's
weird.
that's a good
Prince
analogy.
Beta.
That's a good analogy.
Gotta get back to work. Hey, Zach, good to see you. The next night, the prince snuck out of the palace again, this time never to return. For years, he lived as a bum, a discarded and forgotten remnant of society. The dog shit caked on the bottom of the social totem pole. As a And as planned, the prince suffered greatly. He suffered through disease, hunger, pain, loneliness, and decay. He confronted the brink of death itself, often limited to eating a single nut each day. A few years went by, then a few more, and then nothing happened. The prince began to notice that his life of suffering wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. It wasn't bringing him the insight he had desired. It
It took
wasn't
him
revealing
years.
any deeper mystery of the world or its ultimate purpose. In fact, the prince came to know what the rest of us have always kind of known, that suffering totally sucks, and it's not necessarily that meaningful either. True. Actually, I
It builds
disagree.
character,
I feel
though.
like suffering is very meaningful.
I think it is too. I think it builds character. I think it builds resilience and toughness and appreciation.
As with being rich, there is no value in suffering when it's done without purpose. Yeah, I was going to say that. As long as you learn something, it's not suffering. And soon the prince came to the conclusion that his grand idea, like his father's, was in fact a fucking terrible idea, and he should probably go do something else instead. Totally confused, the prince cleaned himself up and went on and found a big tree near a river. He decided that he would sit under the tree and knock it up until he came up with another grand idea. As the legend goes, the confused prince sat under that tree for 49 days. We won't delve into the biological viability of sitting in the same spot for 49 days, but let's just say in that time the prince came to a number of profound realizations. One of those realizations was this, that life itself is a form of suffering. The rich suffer because of their riches. The poor suffer because of their poverty. People without a family suffer because they have no family. People with a family suffer because of their family. People who pursue worldly pleasures suffer because of their worldly pleasures. People who abstain from worldly pleasures suffer because of their abstention. This isn't to say that all suffering is equal. Some suffering is certainly more painful than other suffering, but we all must suffer nonetheless. Years later, the prince would build his own philosophy and share it with the world, and this would be its first and central tenet, that pain and loss are inevitable and we should let go of trying to resist them.
Right.
Yes. The
No pain,
prince
no
would
gain.
later come to be known as Buddha. I was going to say this is
I knew the
exactly where
story
I
was
learned it.
super familiar.
Well, Confucius said this too, that you can't call it suffering if you learn a lesson from it.
Right.
So then, like, learning from your suffering robs it of any type of pain. But that's why I think they say there's real suffering. People like you have real pain. That's like,
Yes.
that's a little different, but it's also kind of,
But it builds
it is in
character,
line. Yeah.
it fortifies, does things.
And in case you haven't heard of him, he is kind of a big deal. There is a premise that underlies a lot of our assumptions and beliefs. The premise is that happiness is algorithmic, that it can be worked for and earned and achieved as if it were getting accepted to law school or building a really complicated Lego set. If I achieve X, then I can be happy. If I look like Y, then I can be happy. If I can be with person like Z, then I can be happy. That's actually a fact because I know Z, and this bitch will make you fucking happy.
Yeah,
This
you'll
premise,
never be happy as someone else.
yeah. This premise, though, is the problem. Happiness is not a solvable equation. Dissatisfaction and unease are inherent parts of human nature and, as we'll see, necessary components to creating consistent happiness. The Buddha argued that this. Wait, I lost my spot. The Buddha argued this from a theological and philosophical perspective. I will make the same argument in this chapter, but I will make it from a biological perspective and with pandas.
Ooh,
Yay, pandas.
pandas.
Good thing you showed us this dumb
Foreshadowing,
panda
see?
yesterday. Yeah. Okay.
I did that on purpose.
You did? Shut up. Did you already read this book?
No, I did, but like decades ago.
The Misadventures of Disappointment Panda. Aw. If I could invent a superhero, I would invent one called Disappointment Panda. He'd wear a cheesy eye mask and a shirt with a giant capital T on it. That was way too small for his big panda belly, and his superpower would be to tell people harsh truths about themselves that they need to hear but didn't want to accept.
I just need a panda suit.
Is that what you think you do?
That's what I think I'm doing, yeah.
You're just a bully, hoping it works.
Am I wrong though?
I don't know. Sometimes, yeah, actually, probably a lot. I heard someone the other day on a different place say, "See, bullying works." I'm like, wait, is this a theme?
Yes, it does.
It does
It
seem to
does.
work though. But I would love to see Disappointment Panda show up in chat, and he could be our new person.
But it works like medicine, right? If you take too much, it's bad for you. You just need the right amount of bullying.
Disappointment Panda, cheesy eye mask, a shirt with a giant capital T that's too little for his big belly, and he tells people harsh truths about themselves that they need to hear. Yeah,
I know what my outfit's going to be next year.
I'm gonna ban this panda from my chat though. Fuck this panda, but yeah, we need one of them. I'm just kidding. He would go door to door like a Bible salesman and ring doorbells and say things like, "Sure, making a lot of money makes you feel good, but it won't make your kids love you." Or, "If you have to ask yourself if you trust your wife, then you probably don't." Or, "What you consider friendship is really just your constant attempt to impress people." Yeah. Then they'd tell the homeowner to have a nice day and saunter on down to the next house. It would be awesome and
I
sick
want
and
that
sad
job.
and uplifting and necessary. After all, the greatest truths in life are usually the most unpleasant to hear.
Very true.
Squabble said, "Darth, get a big belly." Of course not. Sometimes you actually probably a lot. Okay. Disappointment Panda would be the hero that none of us would want, but all of us would need. He'd be the proverbial vegetables to our mental diet of junk food. He'd make our lives better despite making us feel worse. He'd make us stronger by tearing us down, brighten our future by showing us the darkness. Listening to him would be like watching a movie where the hero dies in the end. You love it even more despite making you feel horrible because it feels real. So while we're here, allow me to put on my Disappointment Panda mask and drop another unpleasant truth on you. We suffer for the simple reason that suffering is biologically useful. It is nature's preferred agent for inspiring change. We have evolved to always live with a certain degree of dissatisfaction and insecurity because it's the mildly dissatisfied and insecure creatures that's going to do the most work to innovate and survive. Let me read that again.
Necessity is the mother of all creation.
We suffer for the simple reason that suffering is biologically useful. It's nature's preferred agent for inspiring change. We have evolved to always live with a certain degree of dissatisfaction and insecurity because it is the mildly dissatisfied and insecure creature that's going to do the most work to innovate and survive.
We went from caves to making huts and teepees to making houses to making mansions.
That makes sense, right? Because if you're satisfied, then you're like, you're good. You're like, nah, I think this could be better. And a
Right.
little bit of that is
Evolutionary drive, right? You can have all the money in the world, but you still your brain's still telling you, I need to go get more money. That's that drive. It's
Yeah. We are wired to become dissatisfied with whatever we have and satisfied by only what we do not have. That kind of sucks. This constant dissatisfaction has kept our species fighting and striving, building and conquering. So no, our own path and misery, our own pain and misery aren't a bug of human evolution. They're a feature. Oh, I like that.
With
Pain
no
in all
pain,
its
there's
forms.
no
No pain, no gain.
right.
We had
Well, just think,
Nike
like, you go to
slogan.
the gym and work out. It sucks fucking working out and lifting weights. Like, you're just
True.
exhausting yourself. It fucking sucks. But it becomes addictive once you're in a cycle,
Mm,
and then you start to love the suffering. Like when I played rugby, it was painful. Like I was beat the shit, but I fucking loved it.
I never got to the loving part, but I do understand physically that you actually like the acid is going to hurt like as your muscles break down and rebuild, like that shit hurts, so I can understand that, but the fact that it does, I just quit. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that anymore, ever. I
Like,
just
look at
dance around my
childbirth.
house for
If
exercise.
childbirth didn't hurt, to be 10 million babies everywhere.
Mm, I don't know about this analogy.
Okay.
Pain in all its forms is our body's most effective means of spurring action. Take something as simple as stubbing your toe. If you're like me, when you stub your toe, you scream enough four-letter words to make Pope Francis cry. You also probably blame some poor inanimate object for your suffering. Stupid table, you say. Or maybe you even go as far as to question your entire interior design philosophy based on your throbbing foot. What kind of idiot puts a table there anyway? Seriously? That's hilarious.
Feng
But I
shui.
digress. That horrible stub toe induced pain, the one you and I and the Pope hate so much, exists for an important reason. Physical pain is a product of our nervous system, a feedback mechanism to give us a sense of our own physical proportions, where we can and cannot move and what we can and cannot touch. When we exceed those limits, our nervous system duly punishes us to make sure that we pay attention and never do it again. That's funny. My little puppy right now is growing so fast that her calibration is all fucked up.
Oh
She's like
yeah.
running really fast to get under things so that the big dog can't get her because she's antagonizing him, but her body's moving too fast. I'm like, "Oh, that's
Yeah, her
hilarious."
brain's working faster than her arms and legs can keep up.
Oh, no, 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 no. All that's working fine. Her body's just growing too fast. So when yesterday or this morning she could fit under this thing, today, nope, shoulders are stopping you. It's really funny. I'm like, "Oh, you got to
It
recalibrate before you
happens
go
so quick
full
too.
speed." Yeah, poor thing. And this pain, as much as we hate it, is useful. Pain is what teaches us what to pay attention to and when we're young or careless. It helps show us what's good for us versus what's bad for us. It helps us understand and adhere to our own limitations. It teaches us to not fuck around near hot stoves or stick metal objects into electric sockets. Therefore, it's not always beneficial to avoid pain and seek pleasure, since pain can, at times, be life or death important to our well being. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a syndrome where they don't get pain signals to their brain, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
super dangerous because people
Yeah.
think, oh, that'd be great. You never hurt your toe, but you don't
Is
know
it
when you break
true you
bones or
can't
burn
bite your own
fingers.
pinky off?
Yeah, like crazy.
We should try it. But pain is not merely physical. As anyone who has had to sit through the first Star Wars prequel can tell you, we humans are capable of experiencing actual psychological pain as well. In fact, research has shown that our brains don't register much difference between physical pain and psychological pain. I didn't know that. Did you know that? Oh
Yeah,
my
like
God, I
phantom
did
limb.
know that. I forgot I knew that. Let me tell you a story. There's this person that I don't know where I heard this story, but they stepped on a nail. They had to go straight through their foot,
Yeah.
screaming in pain. Nothing they couldn't touch it with any of the medicine at the hospital, right? It was just the worst pain this person has ever had. Finally, I think they knock them out. Take the get the shoe off, get the sock off. The nail had missed the foot entirely, but the pain was real to
It's in the
him.
head. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you
Weird.
heard
What
of
the fuck?
phantom limb?
I have.
Yeah. So people like veterans will have their arm blown off, and they'll cry because they're in so much pain because their hand that isn't there anymore is hurting them because their
Mm-hmm.
brain's just like, nope, we're just gonna fuck with this guy.
Yeah. I say this a lot when people bring up phantom limb, but they found this thing where you can put up the mirror next to your other one and scratch
Yes.
your itch of your phantom limb. Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Like
Again,
that's
it's
what my
mental.
my pain is, not physical
Mm-hmm.
pain. It's my brain reacting to signals that aren't there.
Is that what it really is?
Yeah. So my like when I do anything, my muscles will send a signal to my brain. So if I pick up a 10-pound weight, my
Mm-hmm.
brain registers it as a 100-pound weight. And it's like, oh no, you're gonna burn your muscles out, you're gonna break yourself, like drop it. Like, so my brain's
Wow.
overreacting to stimuli.
Our minds are crazy. One of my favorite sayings is the mind is terrible. It's a great slave, but a terrible master. It's like
Yeah,
you really should,
that's a good phrase.
yeah. Like we're great, but like, you know what? Another thing is, oh, never mind. That's
Yeah,
a whole
humans are
different
conditioned to be herd animals.
thing. Is that? I don't know. I don't know if that's true.
So when I tell you that my first girlfriend, start there.
What?
Isn't that where we left off?
Oh, I thought you were starting to tell me a story. I'm like, huh? No, I didn't know
Oh,
where we were. Is that where we were? So when I tell you that my first girlfriend cheated on me, that my first girlfriend cheating on me and leaving me felt like having an ice pick slowly inserted to the center of my heart. That's because, well, it hurt so much I might as well have picked up an ice pick and slowly inserted it into the center of my heart. I remember that. Do you remember your first like heartache?
I think so.
Oh my god, it felt for real, for real. Like physical pain or psychological pain is an indication of something out of equilibrium, some limitations that have been exceeded. Well, I read that like a second grader. And like our physical pain, our psychological pain is not necessarily always bad or even undesirable. In some cases, experiencing emotional or psychological pain can be healthy and necessary. Just like stubbing our toe teaches us to walk into fewer tables, the emotional pain of rejection or failure teaches us how to avoid making the same mistake in the future. And this is what's so dangerous about a society that coddles itself more and more from the inevitable discomforts of life. We lose the benefits of experiencing healthy doses of pain and loss that disconnects us from the reality of our world around us. You may
Exactly.
salivate at the thought of problem free life full of everlasting happiness and eternal compassion, but back here on Earth, the problems never cease. Seriously, problems don't end. Disappointment Panda just dropped by. We had margaritas and he told me all about it. Problems never fucking go away, he said. They just improve. Warren Buffett's got money problems. The drunk hobo down at Quickie Mart's got money problems. Buffett's just got better money problems than the hobo. All of life is like this. Life is essentially an endless series of problems, Mark, the panda, told me. He sipped his drink and adjusted the little pink umbrella. The solution to one problem is merely the creation of the next one. Fair. A moment passed, and then I wondered where the fuck the talking panda came from. And while we're at it, who made these margaritas? don't hope don't hope for a life without problems, the panda said. There's no such thing. Instead, hope for a life full of good problems. And with that, he set his glass down, adjusted his sombrero, and sauntered off into the sunset. Yes, he's wearing a sombrero. This panda's fucking dope.
So I said it's gonna be my Halloween costume. I'll
The disappointment
show
panda.
up spitting truths that people
Everyone's
don't like.
everyone's gonna be the disappointment panda for Halloween. Happiness comes from solving problems. People are a constant in life. Oh no, that says problems. See, problems and people in my mind is interchangeable.
The same thing. Without people, you'd have no problems.
Both are true. You're gonna have problems and people, so you're gonna have to learn how to deal with them. Problems are constant in life. When you solve your health problem by buying a gym membership, you create new problems, like having to get up early to go to the gym on time, sweating like a meth head for 30 minutes on an elliptical, and then getting showered and changed for work so you don't stink up the whole office. When you solve your problems of not spending enough time with your partner by a designated Wednesday night date night, you generate new problems, such as figuring out what to do every Wednesday that you both won't hate, making sure you have enough money for nice dinners, rediscovering the chemistry and spark you two feel you've lost, and unraveling the logistics of fucking in a small bathtub filled with too many bubbles. Problems never stop. They merely get exchanged and or upgraded. Happiness comes from solving problems. The key word here is solving. If you're avoiding your problems or feel like you don't have any problems, and you're going to make yourself miserable. If you feel like you have problems that you can't solve, you will likewise make yourself miserable. The secret sauce is in the solving of the problems, not in the having problems in the first place. Oh, so accept that you're going to have problems.
Right.
Stop trying to not have problems. Step 1 and step 2, they mix.
It's like a band-aid. It's got to come off. Are you going to take it off slow and get it over with, or fast and get it over with, or slow and suffer? Because you think if you do it slower, it's going to be less painful.
Yeah, I mean, I hate the way my mind works. I'm like, well, you can take a bath. I'm like, never mind. That's not what you're going for here. To be happy, we need something to solve. Happiness is therefore a form of action. It's an activity, not something that is passively bestowed upon you, not something you magically discover in a top 10 article of the Huffington Post or from any specific guru or teacher. It doesn't magically appear when you finally make enough money to add on your extra room to the house. You don't find it waiting for you in a place, an idea, a job, or even a book for that matter. I mean, I feel like I could find it if I had a pool.
But then you have problems because you have to hire a pool boy, and then he ends up stealing your fucking stuff from your garage while you're
Husband.
away. And
Oh, that. Happiness is a constant work in progress because solving problems is a constant work in progress. The solutions to today's problems will lay the foundation for tomorrow's problems and so on. True happiness occurs only when you find the problems you enjoy having and enjoy solving. Yes, exactly. Sometimes those problems are simple eating good food, traveling to some new place, winning at the new video game you just bought. Other times, those problems are abstract and complicated. Fixing your relationship with your mother, finding a career you can feel good about, developing better friendships. Whatever your problems are, the concept is the same solve problems, be happy. Unfortunately, for many people, life doesn't feel that simple. That's because they fuck things up in at least one of two ways. I can't wait to see what this is going to say. 1. Denial. Some people deny that their problems exist in the first place, and because they deny reality, they must constantly delude or distract themselves from reality. This may make them feel good in the short term, but it leads to a life of insecurity, neuroticism, and emotional repression.
yes,
Chat, everybody got your pens? I just want you to write some shit down
check your
real quick.
denial.
Write down denial and then put a little check mark next to it. Some people deny that their problems exist in the first place. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm totally normal.
You writing that down, Nova? You don't have to read it to the class, just write it down. Number 2, victim mentality. Some choose to believe that there is nothing they can do to solve their problems, even when they in fact could. Victims seek to blame others for their problems or blame outside circumstances. This makes them feel better in the short term, but it leads to a life of anger, helplessness, and despair. Yeah, that's the worst. That's hard to deal with. People
Hey,
did.
fucker. Oh, sorry.
Hey, Puffer. Good morning. People deny, and blame others for their problems for the simple reason that it's easy and feels good, while solving them is hard and often feels bad. Forms of blame and denial give us a quick high. They are a way of temporarily escape our problems, and that escape can provide us a quick rush that makes us feel better. Is that true? I didn't
Yeah,
know this was happening. Forms of blame include denial, give us a quick high. Oh, because you lied?
yeah. You got all the pressure and the responsibility off of your shoulders, and it's
Oh, yeah.
on someone else's. Like, it's not my
I don't.
fault I didn't get a job. That guy was an asshole and didn't like me because I was gay.
I
So
said
what?
you don't have to read it out loud, just write it down. Okay. I honestly didn't really think about this being a high. It's definitely like a rush to not get caught. It's like stealing. You're stealing the truth and replacing it with a lie.
Yeah. And you're taking weight off of you and putting it on someone else. So it's like freeing.
And it makes you
It's
feel
not
better
my
because
problem.
for
It's your
this
problem.
moment, you're not in trouble. It's
Right.
like putting the blanket on when the helicopter is chasing you.
Yeah.
Freedom. Highs come in many forms, whether it's a substance like alcohol, the moral righteousness that comes from blaming others, or the thrill of some new risky adventure. Highs are shallow and unproductive ways to go about one's life. Amen. Much of the self-help world is predicated on peddling highs to people rather than solving legitimate problems. Many self-help gurus teach you new forms of denial and pump you up with exercises that feel good in the short term while ignoring the underlying issue. Remember, nobody who is actually happy stands in front of the mirror and tells himself that he's happy. Yeah, that was a good lesson from last week.
Yeah.
Highs also generate addiction. Yeah, they do. The more you rely on them to feel better about your underlying problems, the more you will seek them out. In this sense, almost anything can become addictive, depending on the motivation behind using it. We all have our chosen methods to numb the pain of our problems, and in moderate doses, there's nothing wrong with this. Oh, that's the part. Hold on, I gotta get my
Yeah.
pen.
It's like medicine.
Moderation. I need to Google this word. No comprende. But the longer we avoid and the longer we numb, the more painful it will be when we finally do confront our issues. Oh, the
Exactly.
truth. Who let the panda in? Emotions are overrated. Hear, hear.
Facts.
Emotions evolved for one specific person to help us live and reproduce a little bit better. That's it. They're feedback mechanisms telling us that something is either likely right or likely wrong for us. Nothing more and nothing less. Nothing more and nothing less. Much of the pain of touching a hot stove, much as the pain of touching a hot stove teaches you not to touch it again, the sadness of being alone teaches you not to do that thing that makes you feel so alone again. Emotions are simply biological signals designed to nudge you in the direction of beneficial change. Look, I don't mean to make light of your midlife crisis or the fact that your drunk dad stole your bike when you were 8 years old and you still haven't gotten it back. But when it comes down to it, if you feel crappy, it's because your brain is telling you that there's a problem that's unaddressed or unresolved. In other words, negative emotions are a call to action. When you feel them, it's because you're supposed to do something. Positive
Right.
emotions, on the other hand, are rewards for taking the proper action. When you feel them, life seems simple and there's nothing else to do but enjoy it. Then, like everything else, the positive emotions go away because more problems inevitably emerge. Emotions are a part of the equations of our lives, but not the entire equation. Just because something feels good doesn't mean it is good. Just because something feels bad doesn't mean it is bad. Emotions are merely signposts suggesting that our neurobiology gives us what suggestions. Okay, damn. One S will fuck up a whole sentence. Suggestions that our
The italics is
neurobiology
getting
gives
you.
us, not commandments. Therefore, we shouldn't always trust our own emotions. In fact, I believe we should make a habit of questioning them.
Yeah.
Many
Read them,
people,
recognize them, digest them,
yeah,
then
don't
act.
react. Yeah.
Right.
Many people are taught to repress their emotions for various personal, social, or cultural reasons, particularly negative emotions. Sadly, to deny one's negative emotions is to deny many of the feedback mechanisms that help a person solve problems. As a result, many of these repressed individuals struggle to deal with problems throughout their lives, and if they can't solve problems, then they can't be happy. Remember, pain serves a purpose. But then there are those people who over identify with their emotions. Everything is justified for no other reason than they felt it. Oh, I broke your windshield, but I was really mad. I
Right.
couldn't help it. Or I dropped out of school and moved to Alaska just because it felt right. Decision making based on an emotional intuition without the aid of a reason to keep it in line pretty much always sucks. You know who bases their entire lives on their emotions? 3-year-old kids and
Toddlers. Yep.
dogs. And know what else 3-year-old kids and dogs do? Shit on the carpet. Oh, wow. This
If
actually
your
happened this
3-year-old
morning.
still shit on the carpet,
My dog and my kids shit on the carpet. I
it's
mean,
time to remove the carpet.
yeah, but they emotional. Sons bitches. An obsession and overinvestment in emotional an obsession and overinvestment in emotion fails us for the simple reason that emotions never last. Whatever makes us happy today will no longer make us happy tomorrow because our biology always needs something more. A fixation on happiness inevitably amounts to a never ending pursuit of something else: a new house, a new relationship, another child, another pay raise. And despite all of our sweat and strain, we end up feeling eerily similar to how we started: inadequate. This is really great because I have a Bible study after this, and I'm going to have to talk about rest. How you
Ah.
can. Psychologists sometimes refer to this concept as the hedonic treadmill, the idea that we're always working hard to change our life situation, but we actually never feel very different. This is why our problems are recursive and unavoidable. The person you marry is the person you fight with. The house you buy is the house you repair. The dream job you take is the job you stress over. That's a good way to put it. Everything comes with an inherent sacrifice. Whatever makes us feel good will also inevitably make us feel bad. What we gain is also what we lose. What creates our positive experiences will define our negative experiences. This is a difficult pill to swallow. We like the idea that there's some form of ultimate happiness that can be attained. We like the idea that we can alleviate all of our suffering permanently. We like the idea that we can feel fulfilled and satisfied with our lives forever.
Yeah, I think one of the keys to
What did you
happiness
want?
is just solving problems, regardless of what the problems are. The
What
bigger
was
the
some?
problem, the happier you are when it's actually solved. I think that's one of the big keys.
I do think. I mean, yeah. I think
Like
some
you,
people.
like you getting ready for a show. Your problem is trying to figure out what you're going to do for an intro or a thumbnail or something
Hmm.
like that. And when you finally got it done and you send it to me ready for the next day, you're like, ah, there we go. I'm good to go. Like you,
Yeah, that's true.
it's
That
a
does
small
feel
little
good. That is
problem,
a
but it means
problem.
you feel happy once you're done there. Don't have to worry about that.
Hmm. And then the next problem. Okay, now I have to do that show. We
And then you'll
cannot.
be happy as soon as we end.
Hmm. It's a cycle.
So you can't argue with that logic.
Choose your struggle. If I ask you, what do you want out of life? And you say something like, I want to be happy and have a great family and a job I like, your response is so common and expected that it doesn't really mean anything. Everybody enjoys what feels good. Everyone wants to live a carefree, happy, and easy life, to fall in love and have amazing sex and relationships, to look perfect and make money and be popular and well respected and admired and a total baller to the point that people like part the Red Sea when you walk into the room. Oh, that's not how it says. I turned that into a Valley Girl saying people part like the Red Sea. Like people like totally part like the Red Sea when you like enter the room. Everybody wants that. It's easy to want that. A more interesting question, a question that most people never consider is, what pain do you want in your life? What are you willing to struggle for? Because that seems to be a greater determination of how our lives turn out. That's true. We said this last week, I think. Create a monster. You could run towards something, that's fine. Running from something?
Right.
So create the monster you would like to run from.
And then get on a treadmill and run.
And so, yeah, you never get anywhere. For example, most people want to get the corner office and make a boatload of money, but not many want to suffer through 60-hour work weeks, long commutes, obnoxious paperwork, and arbitrary corporate hierarchies to escape the confines of infinite cubicle hell. Most people want great sex and an awesome relationship, but not everyone is willing to go through the tough conversations, the awkward silences, the hurt feelings, and the emotional psychodrama to get there. And so they settle. They settle and wonder, what if? For years and years until the question morphs from what if into what else. And when the lawyers go home and the alimony check is in the mail, they say, what for?
Exactly.
If not for their lowered standards and expectations 20 years prior, then what for? Wait a minute. I thought that was the thing. You're supposed to lower your expectations.
You should lower your expectations if you
If
want to be
not for
happy.
their lowered standards and expectations 20 years prior, then what for?
I think he's contradicting himself a little.
Because happiness requires struggle. It grows from problems. Joy doesn't just sprout out of the ground like daisies and rainbows. Rainbows sprout out of the ground?
This guy's smoking something. I think he's on one of those.
I guess like you don't really see the end of the rainbow, so how would anybody know?
I've seen the end of the rainbow.
How tall are you? I was gonna ask you if you
Tall,
were short, and now you went
huge.
leprechaun. Huge. Okay. Because real, serious, lifelong fulfillment and meaning have to be earned through the choosing and managing of our struggles. Whether you suffer from anxiety or loneliness or obsessive compulsive disorder or a dickhead boss who ruins half of your waking hours every day, the solution lies in the acceptance and active engagement of the negative experience, not the avoidance of it, not the salvation from it. People want an amazing physique, but you don't end up with one unless you legitimately appreciate the pain and physical stress that comes with living inside a gym for hour upon hour. Unless you love calculating and calibrating the food you eat, planning your life out in tiny plate sized portions. That sounds a lot easier. People want to start their own business, but you don't end up a successful entrepreneur unless you find a way to appreciate the risk, the uncertainty, the repeated failures, the insane hours devoted to something that may earn absolutely nothing. They say that that's one of the big reasons for the pay
Big risk, big
the
reward.
gap.
Low
Well,
risk,
it's
low
because
reward.
women
Yep.
start doing it and they're like, you know what? Fuck this. Why the hell would I do this? Why would I work
And
60
women are
hours a
more
week?
interested in people, and men are more interested in things.
I don't know. People want a partner, a spouse, but you don't end up attracting someone amazing without appreciating the emotional turbulence that comes with weathering rejections, building the sexual tension that never gets released, and staring blankly at a phone that never rings. It's part of the game of love. You can't win if you don't play. What determines your success isn't what do you want to enjoy. The relevant question is what pain do you want to sustain? The path to happiness is a path full of shit heaps and shame. What pain do you want to sustain? I'm gonna change the banner to say that.
Yeah, everything that's worth something is a pain to get.
What pain do you want to sustain? Bam. Now next week we'll be like something about pain and sustaining, and I'll have it right there. Do you have pain that
It's
you
like
want to
remember
sustain?
as a kid, like you get an allowance. So like, say I don't know, making up like $10, and you or oh, say you got birthday money, you got like $100, and you could buy your own toy.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd buy something like you stop and think about, I really want this, and you get it, and you treat that toy so good and nice and gentle. But if you got it in a packet for Christmas, you're just like throwing it in the corner
Because you paid for it,
because yeah,
right?
you're
You earned
paying,
it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
pain of giving up your $100, earned it.
Oh, that's the type of pain you want to sustain. I want to spend all my money to have pain. See, I don't know. I don't know how to answer this question. What pain do you want to sustain? I feel like I don't know how to answer it. I needed an example. Mr. Mark Manson, could you give me an example of what the answer sounds like? You have to choose something. You can't have a pain-free life. You can't all be it can't all be roses and unicorns all the time. Pleasure is the easy question, and pretty much all of us have a similar answer. The more interesting question is the pain. That's the hard question that matters, the question that will actually get you somewhere. Well, then that's what we need to solve today. It is a question that can change a perspective, a life. It's what makes me me and you. It's what defines us and separates us and ultimately brings us together. For most of my adolescence and young adulthood, I fantasized about being a musician, a rock star in particular. Any badass guitar song I heard, I would always close my eyes and envision myself up on stage, playing it to the screams of the crowds, people absolutely losing their minds to my sweet finger noodling glory. This fantasy could keep me occupied for hours on end. For me, it was never a question of if I'd ever be up there playing in front of screaming crowds, but when. I had it all planned out. I was simply biding my time before I could invest the proper amount of energy and effort into getting out there and making my mark. First, I needed to finish school. Then, I needed to make some extra money to buy gear. Then, I needed to find enough free time to practice. Then, I had to network and plan my first project. Then, and nothing. Despite my fantasizing about this for over half my life, the reality never came to fruition. And it took me a long time and a lot of struggle to finally figure out why. I didn't actually want it. I was in love with the result, the image of me on stage, people cheering, me rocking out, pouring my heart into what I was playing, but I wasn't in love with the process. Because of that, I failed at it repeatedly. Hell, I didn't even try hard enough to fail at it. I hardly tried at all. The daily drudgery of practicing, the logistics of finding a group and rehearsing, the pain of finding gigs and actually getting people to show up and give a shit, the broken strings, the blown tube amps, hauling 40 pounds of gear to and from rehearsal, with no car. It's a mountain of a dream and a mile high climb to the top. And what it took me and what it took and what it I don't know what happened to me here. What it took me a long time to discover is that I didn't like to climb much. I just like to imagine the summit. That's interesting. I love that he said that.
That's a
The
good way to put
common
it.
yeah, the common cultural narratives would tell me that I somehow failed myself, that I'm a quitter or a loser, that I just didn't have it, and I gave up on my dreams, and that maybe I let myself succumb to the pressures of society. But the truth is far less interesting than any of these explanations. The truth is, I thought I wanted something, but it turns out I didn't. End of story. I wanted the reward and not the struggle. I wanted the result and not the process. I was in love with not the fight, but the victory. And life doesn't work that way. Who you are is defined by what you're willing to struggle for. People who enjoy the struggles of a gym are the ones who run triathlons and have chiseled abs and can bench press a small house. People who enjoy long work weeks and the politics of the corporate ladder are the ones who fly to the top of it. People who enjoy the stresses of uncertainties of the starving artist lifestyle are ultimately the ones who live and make it. Okay,
Or they're
I
on the
get
street
it.
for
I
chicken.
understand the question now. So the question was, what are you willing to suffer for? And the answers look like I'm willing to suffer for, like, I'm willing to climb the mountain. I'm willing to suffer for the gym. I'm willing to suffer for money.
I'm
I'm willing
willing.
to
I'm
suffer.
willing to suffer not going to the bar every weekend with my friends so I can buy a new used car.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, you're willing to sacrifice social. You're
Right.
willing to suffer for,
And then you have a car and none of your friends do, so now you're the social butterfly and everyone wants to hang out with you because
yeah,
you
and now
suffered
you
for a
have
while.
to figure out who can fit in your car because you have too many friends and not enough seats. So you just create new problems, but they're good problems.
Right.
Because four
See?
doors, more whores. Get the four door.
Great quote.
This is not about willpower or grit. This is not another admonishment of no pain, no gain. This is the most simple and basic concept of life. Our struggles determine our successes. Our problems birth our happiness along with slightly better, slightly upgraded problems. Right. See, it's a never ending upward spiral. And if you think at any point you're allowed to stop climbing, I'm afraid you're missing the point because the joy is in the climb itself.
Right.
That's what they say, find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. People are like, dude, you fucking work hard. And be like, no, I mean, yeah, physically I'm exerting energy, but it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. Think of like problems as rungs on a ladder to the at the top of the ladder is happiness. So you got to
Mm-hmm.
hit every rung, as many rungs as you can get to get up there.
Mm-hmm. Squabble said, I think many parents look forward to the day the kids leave the nest.
Yes.
The answer to that is yes.
Because the more
Oh,
kids you
we made
have,
it to chapter
the
3.
better social night you have when you're in your golden years.
Can you believe it? I didn't know that was the end of the chapter.
Oh wow.
It's a never
Killed it.
ending upward spiral, and if you think at any point you're allowed to stop climbing, I'm afraid you're missing the point because the joy is in the climb itself. What pain do you want to sustain?
Before you go to bed at night, pick one problem that you can solve the next day. No matter if it's taking out the trash, whatever it is, pick one problem, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and solve that problem. And then the next day, try two problems. Then try three. Then try a big problem and see if your happiness level changes.
Oh, got no problems.
I think you can do it. Chat can do it.
I
Chat, that's your homework for
mean, I
tonight.
got
Pick a
dishes to
problem
do.
before you go to bed. Write
I
it
do
down on a
have
piece
dishes
of
to do
paper.
today, but if you're allowing me make them be tomorrow's problem, that's more of my speed.
That's all you
I'll,
need, right? That's your problem for
I'm gonna tackle that
tomorrow. You'll
tomorrow.
be happy when they're done.
Perfect. Chad says you're 5'6".
I told him to
Hideous,
stop outing me.
by the way, is an expert at size. So
Who is?
Darth Hideous.
Oh, is he? Oh,
He
well,
says based on
I,
your chair and your
that's what I
fucking
told him. I said to
neck or
stop
whatever.
outing me. He was too close to the target.
Nova just became Dr. Juden Peterstein. Piss off, Dr. Peterstein. I don't do homework. I will if I'm paid. I actually, you know what's
You're
funny?
paid. You're paid in happiness.
I took a class for my girlfriend because she actually signed up for school to get her husband his degree. And she didn't want to take a class. So I took it for her. And it was a philosophy class where I ended up writing about not the Dalai Lama, the Buddha, I think. And that's just from that day like to today, like that was actually the opening where I was like, wow, I wouldn't have never even like thought of the no, it was like 10 years ago, but it's like I would have never thought this. I don't know. It just made me more open minded, I think. But it's all because she had a problem and I was like, oh, I'll do it. I don't care. I like to learn shit.
Yeah, you have a
And now I
drive
have
to
a new
solve
problem.
problems. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of why people like true crime, right? They think they're solving a problem or they're getting the enjoyment of solving a problem or working at solving a problem collectively.
I think that's one of the things, yeah, for sure. I think for women, it's a big part of it is like survival. Is that is practicing like keeping your survival dick hard, you know?
Yes.
Because we don't get to practice it enough anymore.
Female
There's
intuition is real.
all everyone has
But you
intuition.
guys
I
kind
think
of
women
turned
are
it off
better
in the
at it
last like
because
2
of that
decades.
saying. If we had if there was a male intuition saying and you guys just took it for granted that you could have it, you would have you would be on par with us. I think we all have intuition.
Yeah. Gut instinct.
Mhm. Definitely. Like I don't know. You know what sucks about like gut instincts or like even having a relationship with God where you're like trying to listen and like apply what you're hearing or understanding,
Yeah.
is that God or the universe uses my own voice.
Yeah, I tweeted something about Jordan Peterson yesterday about your conscience is God's speaking to you.
Yeah, well, I wish he'd have a fucking different voice because I'm an idiot. I hear myself, I'm like, nah, kind of disregard that shit.
Yeah. That was it. I don't think it was a long chat he was talking about, but it was really interesting, so I had to retweet it.
That's good. I'm really surprised that we're through this chapter. And the next chapter is called You're Not Special.
You are not special,
It's
Darth.
about Jimmy. We'll see if we can get Jimmy in here. Women have heightened intuition because they naturally more vulnerable. I think the reason I do agree with that, but I also think it's because of the saying, a woman's intuition. It's like they say with kids when they're little, they can like see spirits or any of that kind of shit,
Yeah.
is because they don't know that people think it's wrong or that it's scary or they're
Well, it's
just
like how
open to
dogs
things.
know a bad person. Like if you're like my dog would be able to tell if somebody was like if he didn't like them, there was something I knew there was something wrong with that person because he liked everybody. Did
You
you ever
think
get that with
so?
dogs?
I do. I have a dog that they say, well, I'm not going to tell what they say. I heard some bad stuff about what dogs may or may not like, but my dog is not racist. But he definitely can tell if you've ever cheated on your wife because he barks. He have two friends he barks at, and I'm like, there are some things we know about these two people.
See, they know the character is a little off. Their aura, that person's aura, is the dogs
Yeah.
can see it's the wrong color. Have you seen Racist Turtles yet?
Racist turtles, I have not. Should I Google it?
Or YouTube it? There's a little clip out there about turtles are racist.
Racist turtles.
Wait for it. I haven't seen this one, but this is new. But yeah, they're racist. Look. Bam! Bam!
Wait, what?
He skipped all the white shoes and just started fucking attacking the black one.
I mean, is it a color thing?
Yeah, no, white, white, white. There's multiple of these. He only goes after the
Are
black
turtles
ones.
a
You're good, you're good. Well, you can put toilet paper to try and hide them. He knew the toilet paper. He's hiding. Starts whamming him.
Wow,
Are turtles a
that's a lot.
Is he
This is
racist?
weird. My mom has a turtle. I'm gonna go mess with it. He's a little gray.
Yeah, that's a half breed. No, doesn't pass the test.
Dora said, I feel like this is just a video of one racist turtle. He goes, doesn't mean all turtles are racist. The next comment, this one is though. Like,
Oh, that one's got black on the inside. Oh, gotcha. There's the thief.
oh my god, I've never seen a turtle do this. What is it doing that for?
He's attacking the black
Is he
shoe.
trying to kill it?
Yes.
But does he think it's a big black bug?
I don't know, but he
understand
don't
why-
like it. He's super racist.
I've never seen a turtle fight, I guess.
This has been around. So the first one I saw wasn't this elaborate. Well, see, he just walks past the white ones.
Oh my god, maybe it's a Nike thing. I hate Nike shoe these days.
Oh fuck! It
Oh, he
cracks
wants
me
to
up. Though.
taste it.
No, he's mad.
He's trying to break it. It must look like some kind of melon where he's from. He's trying to get into the black melon. See, this is not racist. You guys are the racers. He's just hungry. And the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, you fucking racers.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Beautifully, hey, he didn't like people from Pakistan, Muslims. Most of my neighbors were. Oh, you had me worried. Good morning, beautifully. I see you said daddy up there. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Now you're just on the racist turtle loop.
Oh, yeah, I am. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I was reading chat. Okay. That's it. We're basically done.
Booyah. You got a busy day ahead of you.
I do have a busy day. I have a show coming up at 11, so in 2 more hours. Let's see if I can find the thumbnail for that.
No one crying about audio today. I didn't touch the button on the bottom.
Oh, yeah. I didn't mess with my audio. Seems to be it was all right.
See, we had problems yesterday. They got solved today. Look up smiling.
Look up what?
So we had problems yesterday and we solved them, and now we're happy.
Mm-hmm. Now we're gonna I wonder what our new problem's gonna be. Next Monday we might go lazy boy lawyer and talk about cases. Did you look into any of the stuff that we talked about yesterday?
Yes, I think yeah, I found a couple of stuff I bookmarked.
Okay, I need to do I need to do a little bit of research, but I do
The sports community was all over it before the news and the financial community was.
What were they on?
The Tom Brady lawsuits and...
Oh, yeah, obviously. That makes sense.
But yeah, it was crazy. All the sports jocks were all up on top of it, and it wasn't until like recently the media get involved.
Right. That makes sense. But
it's not just Tom. There's a whole bunch of people named.
Mm-hmm.
People, teams, whole teams are named.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the point, because who are they going to get the money from?
Day. If I take it down, I'm going to have another problem, though, Puffer.
See? But then you'll be happy once you solve it.
Listen, I decorated for Thanksgiving for a few episodes, but that's like in 2 weeks, and when the time came to redecorate, I'd wait.
Do you know why? Do you know why the Santa Claus hat is the Santa Claus hat? The colors and the white spot on it, and it's from mushrooms, magic mushrooms, the Amanita muscaria, the little red cap mushroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Santa Claus
is. Cap?
Yeah, that's what Santa Claus was created from.
I mean,
he's not actually Canadian.
I think I've heard the lore about the reason why good kids get shrooms and the bad kids don't get there is because you'll have a bad trip that's why there's a naughty and nice list. So you have to be good so you don't have when you have the shrooms. That's what they put the stockings in front of the fire.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
To help dry them out.
Yes.
I don't know all of the lore, but we are getting into Christmas. We could do shit like that. That would be wonderful.
I get that. I'll break out the book and see if I can find the actual pages, because it gives the history of it.
According to Div, it's Merry Christmas time 365 days a year, so this is no problem. That's right. A big problem is there used to be Santa's Village here, and it's no longer there. And the other day I was like, how much would it be to create a Santa's Village in the desert? Santa's Village.
I think didn't somebody do that? They actually trucked in snow.
I don't know.
Or they were making it at night.
Look at this. Oh, I'm not sharing. Present. Let me share this. Wow, sad.
Do your kids mail Santa a letter?
Wait, it said sold out when I first got here. It's not really sold out. Are they fucking with me?
Uh-oh. The cheap seats were sold out. The premiums are all available. You got a roller coaster in Santa's Village? Shit.
Dude, Santa's Village is cool. Now, I went here when I was little. I don't even know. Where are the photos?
The only thing we could do around here was go to the mall in the city, and they had a big tree that had a face in it called Woody, and that was it. And you could sit on Santa's lap. And then they started doing the parade of lights. So they had the fire trucks. So
Did
you'd
you
have
just
like a
say you
parade at
sat on
night.
Santa's Woody? I was only heard some of those words.
Yeah, but they did the parade of lights. So they have like a parade at nighttime, and all the vehicles have like LED lights and all that stuff. And then they
Yeah,
canceled
that's
that because a
awesome.
kid got run over one night.
Oh, that's a problem. What is a color code? Christmas time, Christmas time. What?
Oh, maybe just time slots were sold out that you wanted.
I don't know how to read your map. Yeah, it's just a little Christmas little. I remember it being like not exactly like this. Where
For
is
me, I
this?
find it so weird that like California and Florida has like Christmas because it's you got no snow.
We get snow in California, just not all over it. What's your address? How do I get here? Directions. That's what I need.
Did it say how much
Okay,
they
we can
cost?
leave actually. Does it say how much they cost? Purchase
Tickets and
Christmas
info right
edition.
there. Next one down.
Oh wait, I found their address. This is not the one. I'm not going to damn New Hampshire. Either way, how much is it to cost to go here? Kind of
That's
lost
not even in the
interest.
right state anyway.
That's yeah. I just figured that out.
There you go, $50.
$52 or 20 on Sunday after 3. Why the hell would you go on any other day? I'm like, I guess because there would be nobody there on Saturday because it's 52 bones and everyone's going to wait till the next day so you can
Right?
bring the rest of the family.
$59. I'd be wanting something to take it home, not just to walk around. I want a gift.
You would probably steal something, huh? You'd take one of these ornaments. Maybe.
What are those?
They're ornament. They're bees or something.
Why aren't they elves? What kind of Christmas is this?
They're
This is a California
Grinch.
Christmas.
Aren't
They're
they
probably
like
gay
Grinchy?
beetles.
Doesn't that look like the Grinch? I don't know what this is.
No, it looks like a little alien. That in a ball.
Looks like a Grinch baby. I don't know. It's New Hampshire. Who gives a shit? Let's find the one in California. Cali. .net. Okay. Fine. Don't share this. This looks more like it. It was more like
It's a pretty big
Christmassy
place.
looking. Okay. This might not be open anymore. Last I heard this was not open. I'm not gonna do this to y'all. I'm not gonna make you sit here and do this with me. Remove. Come back in 2 hours or an hour and a half ish. Yeah, 11 a.m. I will be here with hopefully Vicky, beautifully, and Lady Frog. We're gonna do a Bible study. We're gonna ask a couple questions, and we're gonna bust out our Bibles to try to answer the questions.
Nice. Can you see how gay Canada is and it's getting dark already in here?
Is that what's happening? What time is it?
1.
2. Oh my god.
This is why Canadians are so drunk all the time. They're depressed because it's dark early.
Damn, that does kind of suck. Why? What's happening? It's a flat Earth problem?
We're too far north.
Doesn't sound real.
So when the Earth tilts away from the sun, we don't get as much sunlight anymore.
I'm looking it up. They might have just propagandized you with that. Yeah, give me a fucking break. Look at this. Is it the same in May? I mean,
What?
Maine? I can't. Oh, I'm not sharing ad. Not now.
We even have our
You're
own
just
time
right
zone
here.
here.
You're in line with Michigan.
No, we're more north.
Barely. That much so that the sun's going down at 1 in the afternoon?
90, I think it's 95% of Canada. See that red dot over Nova Scotia? 95% of Canada lives below that red dot.
Red dot. This thing?
No,
Oh,
down
yeah.
at that one, right there,
It's
right
on
where
my
your
screen.
cursor is.
I pointed to a dot that's on my monitor. This dot that says Nova
Yeah.
Scotia?
Yeah, like I think it's like
Yeah.
100 miles or 100 kilometers from the border. The American border is 95% of Canada. The population.
So in all of Canada right now, it's dark.
If you
It's
drew a
getting
straight
dark.
line right across, yeah.
w- what is it the same in South Dakota?
What?
Darkness right now?
Should be.
Shh. I need Cool Frog. Where's Cool Frog? Sun goes down around 3:30 in the
There's still
UP. Are
light
you
outside.
fucking
Like if I
kidding
open the
me?
curtain, there's still light.
I didn't know that.
It's just the sun's really, really low in the sky.
Wow. So
Like
what time does it
in
come
the
up?
around the equator at noon, the sun's directly like above your head. But in Canada
Mm-hmm.
at noon, the sun's like way over here. So
Whoa.
instead of directly
What time
above you,
does
it's
it show up in
far
the
away.
morning? What time does the sun rise? Are you here?
The sunrise here depends on time of
Fucking
year.
Are you having a stroke?
Who? What?
What time does the sun rise this morning?
This morning?
Mm-hmm.
6-ish, 6:30.
So it's a regular sunrise. It has what you would
Well, no, in
okay.
the summer it's way earlier. It's like 5 o'clock in the summer.
Yeah, but I'm just saying relative to it going down around 1 or 2 or whatever. It's still waking, it's still showing up at the same time as everybody else.
I think
That makes no
December
sense to me.
21st is the longest night or most darkness of the year
South
for
Dakota's
us.
west,
Anyway.
Nova's north and east. That makes a difference. That's
I'm
why
on
the sun
Atlantic
should come
time.
up earlier. Everyone says 6 o'clock. Maybe it comes up. Maybe it doesn't come up for me until 7. I don't care. I don't know. Shortest day here in daylight from 9 to 4. Shortest days here are daylight from 9 to 4. The sun doesn't show up until 9 a.m.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. The farther away you get from that equator.
I like night. I would prefer it to be dark. I wish that in like my next incarnation, I want to come to a world that does it opposite. We work at night, we school at night, we
Just go
sleep
to
at day.
just go to northern Canada. It's either 24 hours of darkness or 24 hours of light.
Yeah, but I don't want to go to Canada. I'd just rather be reincarnated and talk to God about this. I just want to be nocturnal. I loved it. I took night classes years ago. I loved it. It just feels so good to be in the darkness with the
I
lights of the
liked night
world on.
shifts when I used to work because management wasn't around.
I like night
But then
driving.
you could go a whole week and never see the sunshine. It sucked.
Yeah, I think I have sun privilege. I don't understand that part, so I'm willing to give it up.
Yeah. And that's how I think 20% of our vitamin D we get from the sun.
We know where you get that vitamin D, boy. Don't you blame it on the sun.
Easy now. On that note, I'm quitting.
You fired. How about that? Okay, you know what? I think I'm on Thursday, so I have a show on Thursday. Today I will do a Bible study with my girls. And then on Thursday I have a show, and I'm like, I don't know if I should try to do it alone again, just to see if I'm quitting too early, doing it by myself, if I should, whatever. And I was toying with an idea of doing a podcast with my dog. I think I might bring my dog on for Thursday's show.
Do it.
He's really funny. He's really funny.
You'll have to sit on the floor and bring your camera down level with him.
I'm gonna give him his own camera, and I don't know how I'm gonna make him fucking behave. I'll figure it out. Because if I add him like you're added, like
Yes.
I could add him through my phone and just put my
Oh,
phone
yeah.
on a tripod and have him be in like
Do
this.
it.
I know,
I think
right?
that'd
So
be
I think
fun.
I might.
Why not?
It's in my mind. It sounds like a great idea. Those are always the worst ones once they get to the screen.
Yeah. Well, if you
It's always
get
a train
bored
wreck.
or annoyed or whatever, you can hit me up. I can jump on.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm going to talk about New Year's resolutions and buttholes. So maybe that second half is for you.
You said black holes or buttholes?
Which one are you more into?
Tune in next week.
Disgusting. All right. Is there anything you want to talk about or say or cover before we take off? I love that we're getting out of here in an hour and a half. I feel bad, but since I have to come back, I don't feel that bad.
No, you got stuff on your plate today, but not off the top of my head.
No? All right. Chad, is there anything you want to get off your minds? Do you want to talk to me about your problems or
Yeah, what are your problems, Chat?
Oh yeah, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up, maybe follow if you guys want to see the rest of
Yes,
the show.
there's 30 of you in here and only 5 thumbs up. So someone's hands are broke.
Mr. Beast did that Lex Friedman show, and I
Yep.
watched it, and now Mr. Beast is my mentor.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
I like Lex Friedman. He's a great interviewer. He seems really dry, but once you get to know his personality, I like him better. He asks good questions.
yeah, I do like him. I thought it was good. I thought that interview was good. I'm not actually all the way through it because I'm stopping it to like make sure I understand what he's saying before I move on.
Yeah.
But because Mr. Beast is my new mentor, I'm going to
He's
focus
racist now,
on,
though.
for Christ's sake.
They called him racist because he was doing too well, drilling too many wells in Africa, so he has to be racist.
Yeah, that's like Bill Gates. He's a racist too because he wants to vaccinate them and let the children live longer. That son of a bigot.
I think Bill Gates should get every vaccine all at once.
What if that was lethal injection? Dude,
Oh,
did you see
speaking
those
of,
fucking people that beat the lethal injection? They just
that's
get
what
to
I was
live?
just gonna say to you. As soon as you said that, I'm like, wait a minute. Did you see the dude that like
Dude, I'm gonna Google
they
it.
want to get him twice or 3 times? They tried twice, I think, to kill him, and they still want to. I'm like, no, you tried. You had your shot. I'm free now.
Yeah.
Once they injected you, I think that should be it. You should be free. That should be your death.
Alabama's last two executions failed. They're trying again next week.
Yeah, they tried nitrous oxide,
Let me see what it says.
and it didn't work.
Alabama.
Can you imagine? You think you're gonna die, you pass out from the nitrous oxide, and you wake up, you think you're gonna be in heaven, and you're still.
You're
This
like,
is
someone
hell?
get the mail. Get the mail. I thought I'm not supposed to be alive still. Stop the mail, man. Fuck.
What do you think? Do you think if they try to execute you and they fail, she'd be let go?
Oh no, I would absolutely argue for the fact that I did die and I was fucking resurrected, and you can bring it up with Jesus. You don't get to kill me twice. I got one death sentence. I did it and I'm back.
Right.
The end.
I don't understand how the government. There's proof that everything the government does is incompetent. Like, how can you not kill somebody on purpose? Send them to Canada.
I'm agree. I don't. Yeah, send them to Canada. Whatever he said, send them to
They're
Canada.
killing. We killed 10,000 people with that suicide fucking bill made already. So obviously our government doesn't have a problem doing it.
There you go. Send them to Canada. Trudeau's problem. How do you execute someone with whippets? Is that what nitrous is? No, come on. Let me look.
Yeah, I think they tried nitrous oxide, and then they tried 2 or 3 different injections of stuff, and all of it didn't work. He was probably such a drug addict that when they injected him with the drugs, he's like, I'm just gonna get high.
This says, oh, what's happening? Astonishingly cruel, Alabama seeks to test execution method on death row guinea pig. Fuck. I guess.
Firing squad.
I would just have them pay like my restitution or something.
Why don't you bring back the guillotine? It was like the most humane way, the most effective way. No one didn't die from it, and it was instantaneous.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. But you call it a guillotine?
What do you
call
call
it? A guillotine.
Guillotine? Guillotine's the chokehold. The wrestling, like when you get.
Are these 2 different words for real?
Yep, guillotine is the chokehold, and guillotine is the actual dropping of the metal.
I wish I knew how to ask the internet this question.
I know.
Chat, you do know? Are you 100% certain?
It's called a guillotine because the judo gi, the outfit you wear, is called a gi, and you're supposed to use that to do the choke in judo or jujitsu.
He just said, I've been saying this. Nobody listens to me. Well, here you go. Here's your spotlight. Congratulations.
Or Darth, I just validated your whole
Did you just call him your name?
I did, because he said something so intelligent.
Now it makes it even weirder that you masturbate to him.
Don't tell him these things.
I'm sorry, I thought you said that in chat.
Our offline conversations remain offline.
It's a French word. Div has the right pronunciation. No, it isn't, Nova. You fucking moron. It's a French word. I feel like I won this one. We got to go out on a win. I should go out on a win.
Guillotine and guillotine.
I mean, chat has spoken and you're a fucking moron.
Gi for the karate jiu-jitsu gi.
Guillotine. Yeah.
Versus guillotine.
That doesn't make it sound any more right. Guillotine. Oh, well, when you say it that way, you right. It has nothing to do with the gi. Okay, let's just solve this. Should I ask chat, GP, whoever he is?
I answered it. That's all you need to know.
You don't know anything. You're 100% certain, which makes me think you're wrong. Where's the thing? How do I chat with the chat? What the fuck over? Isn't there a button you just say chat now?
So go, what is the name of the chokehold in MMA? And then what is the name of the execution weapon, and see if they're spelt the same. And then ask Google to pronounce it for you.
Let me log in real quick, and then I'm going to do it. What am I going to... I'm going to write the same word. Is this word... Is Jack and Jack the same thing? Okay. Agree.
Ask it, what is the name of the MMA chokehold? Submission hold or something.
What is the name of the MMA chokehold?
Submission choke.
Submission choke? Oh, I didn't spell it right. There are several submission chokes. Each has its own name. One of the most common is a rear naked choke.
Oh,
hey,
guillotine.
Who wants to do jitsu with me? I didn't know it was something like this. In this submission, a fighter typically secures the back of their opponent, wraps one arm around their opponent's neck, and issues the... I could rear naked choke myself.
Yeah.
And
see right down there, guillotine choke. Copy and paste that, and then ask the computer to say it.
Other common chokes in MMA include the guillotine choke. Guillotine choke. Okay, so ask the computer how to say this particular word or this particular phrase.
The word doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the phrase, just the word. To see if they're pronounced differently than...
The word guillotine is typically pronounced guillotine or guillotine. The emphasis on often placed on the second syllable guillotine or guillotine. How do you feel
now
about this?
Copy and paste guillotine, the execution weapon, in there and see if it says GIL or GHEE.
What is it called? What is the... How do you ask, what's it called when you chop someone's head off? That's not it, though.
The French execution method. What is the French execution method that starts with G?
Where they chop heads. There we go.
That's right.
It's called the guillotine. It's spelled the same. But
ask them to pronounce that word. Darcy's either going to be wrong or right.
He's right.
Sorry, you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Going through a tunnel.
I'm on Starlink.
There's leaves on the trees.
Sorry, I'm on Starlink. It's not working. All right. We'll talk to you next week, chat.
I wish you would have just left studio. That would have been hilarious. Armbar. Jericho. Made very popular by King Henry VIII. Okay, well, do you feel wrong, or you want to keep going and see how much?
No, I just learned something new today.
Okay.
I'm never wrong.
I think a lot of people just like those two L's will screw with them, and they'll just say Gil.
It could be regional too.
Yeah. You could be getting it wrong for generations.
So I'm not really wrong.
Okay,
I just wasn't specific enough on what we were talking about.
How do Canadians pronounce guillotine? We'll find out. Similar. Typical pronounced guillotine or guillotine. Emphasis on the second syllable. Yeah, you're just wrong, bro.
What? Who?
In Canadian English, it's pronounced guillotine, just like everywhere else it says. And if
I gotta go. There's...
You extra wrong today. All right. For real, we are taking off. I will see you guys at 11 o'clock in another hour and a half. Come back and Bible study with us. It's going to be fun. Oh, it might be trash. I don't know. It's our first one ever. So come be a part of our inaugural...
Be there or be square.
God damn it. I wish I didn't... Why do you say things? I should have just
told you to end it before.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right, see you, chat.